Incest rhymes with incest. I fucked that up.
So cute. Yeah, what was it? What rhymes with incest?
No, bed rest.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta sneeze.
Please.
No, I'm okay.
All right, but cover it. Cover
yeah,
yourself. You got the COVID. All right.
I am a man. I am not an animal. Are we popping in there?
Okay,
Sorry.
we're live, baby.
We are live, large and in charge. Happy January 22nd. It's your host with the most. We have Howard with us today. Howard from the Dog Run.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Howard, happy to have you back. Thank you
Thank you
so much. Howard was giving me shit because for those of you who, I guess you know, I had a vasectomy last week, and I made a big mistake. They took my clit off too, which I need for sex apparently. But no, the procedure was done on Thursday, and then I woke up and they gave me this big. Well, I showed Adam. They gave me this big, like it looked like a G-string, kind of like, or more like a jock strap, but it had covered in gauze. And then I had to make a bowel movement like later that night, and I didn't think to take the gauze out, so I sat down. I just kind of moved it to the side like a Vegas whore.
God.
And
Getting
when
hot over here.
When I sat down to evacuate, I didn't take all the gauze off, and I peed all in the gauze. And I was like, God damn it. So then I took it off, and then I was I was okay. But then Sunday I went perambulating around the neighborhood, and Monday morning I got up and it really hurt, and I exposed my genitals to my wife.
Ooh.
As one would. But it was on the 4 train, but I know.
Which car?
Let's be honest, a small car.
Okay.
But, and then it was my entire shaft and balls were black and blue.
Wow.
So I did not listen to the doctor's opinion or offer rather. And so for the last, I didn't, yesterday I went outside, but I didn't go outside until from Sunday till last night. And I've been using frozen. Hey, if you guys eat cream corn in my house in the next couple of months, just so you know, those corns were on a different kind of cream.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was just regular corn when you started.
Oh,
right?
You know what? That's why you do it.
Listen.
That's why you come in from Queens.
He's alley-oop.
Yep. He
kinda
was
toss
once
up.
on an elevator with Susan Sarandon.
I call her Susan Sarandon.
Whoa.
you were in an elevator with this is
me
where
guess.
my
I wasn't. I knew a guy, actually, speaking of Susan Sarandon, I knew a guy that met her at a bar once, and they hung out, and I think maybe they banged around a little bit.
This is where I come in with my Hollywood stuff. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's why they
Whenever.
call you Hollywood Howard.
Hollywood
HH.
Howard.
HH.
We all remember your scintillating Alec
Double H.
Baldwin, Kim Basinger story.
That was my
Well,
favorite.
I-
Broke
That
the
was my
internet.
favorite.
Did I tell that on this thing?
Yeah. The time that you met Alec Baldwin
It's
and
not
remembered that he was married to Kim Basinger.
Yeah, but that was
Yowza.
I had a big internal charge out
Okay,
of that. I'll
yeah.
tell you.
I understand, right.
If
Walter
she's not
Winchell.
gord- No, come on. If she's
I had a similar
It's not
thing with
gorgeous.
John
Who
Stamos,
was? Come on.
actually. So
Yeah?
I'm jogging, and I thought
Rebecca Romaine.
that I'd like to smell his index and fourth.
Well, it's going to
for me.
smell like ass. He's Greek anyways. They can't stop playing with their own asshole, those
Gonna
Greek
smell
guys.
like-
there are no. I was going to say at the beginning of your story about your operation,
Yeah.
about your procedure,
Uh-huh.
that there are almost no boundaries anymore to free speech, as far as And now I'm convinced that there are no boundaries.
Well, I don't think there's anything. I have no shame. As a
No,
matter
no,
of fact,
I'm not criticizing.
if you go on Amazon, I looked for vasectomy pillow because I figured it would be nice to sit. Because it's the idea is not to put any pressure on that area, right?
You might have just named the show today.
Vasectomy
bucko.
pillow.
Vasectomy pillow episode.
But if you go on
with Hollywood Howard.
Hollywood Howard,
Remember that one?
but
It's a pretty good title.
But on Amazon, they have like all of these throw pillows that say, "I just shoot blanks with a gun," or one that was really gross said, "I have the juice but not the seed." I was like,
really?
So these were really vasectomy themed pillows.
Yeah, they
Those are
they
good.
weren't what I thought. Right? They very quickly they turned into hemorrhoid pillows, which I guess have many uses. But they started off as being
There's
like
no-
novelty wacky pillows.
They could be T-shirts and
They were also T-shirts.
All kinds of.
Yeah.
Oh, you can make millions.
I
of them.
sent
Oh
one.
my God,
Millions.
you're gonna need like a whole new section on lipsweat.com.
Lipsweat.com. Oh, can you get fine T-shirts that have hilarious sayings on them at
Oh,
lipsweat.com?
Now-
Promo code Fire Island.
Bada bing.
Yeah, but there was a whole. But it was what was even worse about that was I was prescribed a fair about I don't know how many, but a bottle of OxyContin, and my
Oh,
therapist.
that's how they make the money.
Oh yeah, my therapist.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to that after I left last
That's
week.
how they make the money.
Right.
They
Adam's,
sell billions. of
Adam's
them.
like smoking a cigarette, like all done on the train.
I don't know why you
Oh, my
keep
God.
prodding me
Nodding
about
off.
it.
Yeah, right. Adam's like, you want to buy a PlayStation 1? But the problem was my therapist knew about my vasectomy, and my therapist called my wife and said, I don't think it's a good idea if Brian takes OxyContin because I'm an alcoholic. So my
Yeah, you have
wife...
a cross,
I mean, my wife took them away. Although I don't really... Look, I love drugs, but like... I don't really... you've told me OxyContins are great.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah, but... I
yeah,
don't know.
but sometimes people can, quote unquote, accidentally overdose.
Oh yeah, well there's a whole
Yeah.
thing. What didn't they? What do they call them in pill mills in Florida? Like everything comes out of Florida, but in Florida they had
That's
these
right.
doctors that would like write one script, and you could get like 1,500 OxyContin, and
It's a racket.
Yeah, there's going to be like a class
racket.
action lawsuit for the rest of eternity, I think, over
Yeah.
over the opioid
absolutely.
crisis. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They got everybody hooked in Pennsylvania.
what I've noticed with these things is that all it is it's a very strong opiate, but it's covered with like a time release, whatever, with this coating.
Capsule, yeah.
Yeah,
or
right.
coating, yeah.
And then it eats away, so you get it slowly. But they figured out to shave it away.
That's
and
science.
That's science,
That's
right?
what we call science.
I understand, and I know I feel like we touched on this, and Howard, not with you, but I can understand people in rural areas wanting to sleep and just kind of, I can understand the heroin epidemic in areas where there isn't a lot to do, but it's where people live in like the middle of nowhere and take meth, where you're up for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to be awake all day, like
Right.
taking apart a carburetor
In Omaha.
Yeah, in Omaha. Like,
Well, now,
go ahead.
there are people with on the other side of that line.
Well, it's a big deal. There's
There are
a
people who vote R.
oh,
see what I'm
oh
saying?
boy.
that are
We're
on,
taking
on meth?
Yeah. Are you saying that people vote Republicans are meth heads?
Wait, meth head Republicans?
No, I
said
didn't
Repu-
say that, but
By the way, there was a whole. I put this on some social media nonsense, but this is one of my favorite things I read recently. Pablo Escobar. Okay, he had a private zoo. At the end of he was making like $5 million a day. Like he couldn't get. So he had all of these animals imported into this giant enclosed farm that there's a name of the farm. And anyway, so he gets shot 1993. He's gone. So he had 4 hippos. Those 4 hippos have since gotten out of and now there are 800 hippos
Good.
rampaging through South America, and they're known as the cocaine hippos. And the problem is that there's no infrastructure or I'm not using the right word, but there's no natural predator for these hippos over there. And do you know about hippos?
something, yeah.
Well,
Not
they're
a lot, but
number one, they're assholes because they're vegetarian, but they love to just fucking eat. They'll eat you. They'll bite you and kill you.
You should keep a safe distance from them.
Well, you can't though because
Don't
they're
go into their territory.
well, they're really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, they can swim, right? And they can run really fast, and they breed like fucking rabbits. Like in Africa, there's a huge, they have deer in New Jersey. They have hippo problems in Africa because
a lot of German shepherds have hippo problems too.
but they should go see their hippo. He was
Hippocrates.
saying hippo, right? Hippocrates. Why not Hippocrates? Can't you see that I'm no good without you? So yeah, it was. Although you would think in Greeks were the cradle of democracy, but they also couldn't really wipe their assholes. Why not? Why wear white sheets?
Well, the first joke I ever heard about ancient Greece,
Go ahead.
the very first one I ever heard,
Which is
I
you're
guess
so
I was
old, probably heard it in
10
ancient
I
Greece.
actually heard it from Socrates. Right. Was how did they separate the men from the boys in ancient Athens?
with a crowbar.
Bada boom! He got it. He remembers that one. Yep, that was the first one I ever heard.
Whenever I want to sound really whenever I want to sound really intelligent, I go. They teach in the Socratic method. Even I don't really know what that means, but no one has ever challenged me on it. They go, "Oh, well, that's interesting." Yes,
Question and answer.
Yeah, question and answer. Right. I mean, I sort of
The dialectic method.
Is it? That's
Oh,
another
really?
word for
That's
it?
really what that means?
No, seriously. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And you know what? He came up with that. And you know what? Nobody has
With a
ever-
crowbar.
Yeah.
Well, he had, he was he's complicated. Nobody's ever, in my humble opinion, I've been through Socratic method for, 50 years as a student and teacher of law and all of that. Nobody's ever come up with a better, really simple and better way to probe, to go back and forth, to try to get at the truth and find out facts. I love Socratic method.
I went to
Okay.
I went to fishing school and we learned catch and release. That's how we learned.
Well, that's a kind of a Socratic method. It's dialectic.
Yeah, when I drove across country, we stopped in because when you drive across country, we've mentioned this on the show a lot.
Which
but
country now?
United is there another one, bro?
America.
I
By the
fed
way-
him that one.
By the way, the country I lost earlier this week.
Yes.
the country I
The
lost,
country lost,
earlier
yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You hippie.
That country.
Yeah,
My hair is getting a little long. I got to get a haircut.
yeah. You got to get a hair. Well,
Yeah.
good luck getting one of this. Cuomo done shut down the whole city
Not my boys.
because of an alleged flu.
No. The Uzbek.
Alleged.
Get this. These guys are brothers. They're Uzbekistan Jews.
Ooh.
Very rare. They're in the basement right off Broadway at 80th Street. They're terrific guys. 5 minutes. Reasonable price. Haircut.
Okay,
Right.
hear
Yeah.
me out.
Oh,
You are a sartorial gentleman, right? You do I imagine you take some pride in your appearance. I mean, against all. No, but I'm like,
Andy wouldn't agree with that, but yeah, I do.
you have a nice head of hair. Would you think about going to like someone who actually like a stylist?
No. I never have, and I don't intend to.
All right. Do you think it's just? Do you think it's like it's just kind
It's
of
a little
fey?
bit, it's a little, well, it's affected.
It's affected.
And that's unnecessary.
Well, but you have such curly hair that it'd be fun to have it straightened out once. Wouldn't that be fun to have it all straightened?
No, I understand this.
Just
Just to see what it
yeah.
looks like. No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Can it be ironed or what? How do you
Sure.
do this?
They
Sure.
No, so
could,
can
but
you
it's
iron
not
it?
long enough. No, you'd have to get a perm. You'd have to get your hair
Hey,
straightened
you get a
like,
permanent.
like black women.
Yeah, see, but then you're getting into this decadence that it doesn't feel right to me.
That I agree. I think therapy is decadent. I think there are certain things that are decadent
Really?
that I do that I have a problem.
Psychotherapy? I don't think that's decadent.
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Really?
I'm not from a background that believes in
Right.
therapy.
You're Irish.
Right.
Yeah.
So, as a matter of fact, when I was talking to the girl I was talking about earlier today, I had mentioned to her, I said, "What about therapy?" And she responded in a text message, SHITE. Shite.
Shite.
Right. So it does feel indulgent to sit there. Having said that, I've been doing it. My wife wants me to go. I've been doing it and I enjoy it, but I still don't know what it is. Like if somebody says they're a doctor and they say they're a doctor of psychotherapy or a psychiatrist, I have a hard time not
Well, you
rolling.
could go to Dr. Jill Biden.
Knew you were going to say that,
Yeah.
by the way. What is your feeling about educational?
She's a doctor.
Yeah. What is she a doctor of?
Education.
Okay.
Certainly doesn't do hair plugs because you've seen the man's head. Oh, I'm a
But
bitch.
Oh, you really are a bitch.
She
I'm
might
a-
see you on the side for the therapy. I mean, she's not a therapist, but she might see you on the side because she is a doctor.
But is she a MD?
No, she's a doctor.
I understand, but but is she a? I understand she's a doctor, okay, but is it a one of those? Is it a doctor? Is it a PhD?
Yeah, that's a good
That
question.
was the issue 3 weeks ago when it came up in the media.
Where do you stand on this?
I am a doctor as well
Right,
of law,
Dr. Hollywood Howard.
but
Yes.
but and of
Also
Hollywood
does.
and of Hollywood studies.
Right.
Does cosmetic surgery. on
Dissertation on Cheetah Rivera.
People are right. There's a library full of that shit, right?
Right.
But in our society at this time, we only use the doctor title for medical doctors.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I do is, what I think is appropriate is I put my initials
Yes.
at the end of my name.
Yes.
Okay.
Not at the beginning to confuse people
I
about
like that.
medical
I
docs.
like that.
That's, I think, is appropriate. People, and all they say, oh, what is your specialty or what? Okay, but you don't have it. That confusion with the medical, and she has it up front, which is a little bit déclassé.
Yes, it is.
What
it's a-
he
That's
said.
why the issue came up.
It is what we would call new.
And old money speaking there.
Right, right.
Old money.
It's also like, for example, there's a guy that I know in Brooklyn who we're not friendly at all, and
Good.
he refers to himself.
Oh.
And the same thing, he has a PhD in some kind of dead language or something, and he refers to himself as Doctor blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which is weird because his name is actually blah blah blah. Would
Yeah,
you
that
cut
is
that out,
strange.
please?
Right, yeah.
But I want to
Can't
touch.
believe you said all three of his names.
Well, he has a stutter.
blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
A new dog lady came in the other day.
Ooh,
and then
nice fat tits. Sorry.
I cannot as yet determine that because
Okay.
there's too many layers of
I
winter
know.
clothing.
Not a good
on.
time of year.
My guess is no.
Yeah.
Just from the.
Yep.
But it's
know,
early to say.
But
That
it's
one
too
that, like-
early to
Yeah.
call.
The one that
It's
wants to
too close.
There's
to-
one in the dog that wants to fuck you.
Which one?
The one that walks with you. She
Ooh.
I hope Andy's not.
she
listening
just went to
this.
Maine. She's-
Laurel.
Yes. I don't know. I think
I don't want to open myself up to
whatever it is,
defamation
whatever it is,
suits.
I believe that she is attracted to you, which is fine. But you're married, you're happily with somebody,
not
so
married,
whatever.
I'm not married.
Okay, slow it down, Casanova. You're like, don't worry, Lauren. Come holler at me when you're done in Portland. So go ahead, please. You were
Maybe
talking.
she went. I'm just thinking. It's very funny because we had a little chit chat on the text and stuff.
Ooh.
Because I think, but she said she was going to Portland for a few months, and there was
Yeah.
all this discussion about Portland this and Portland that.
Right.
And I was led to believe that it was Maine, but
Yeah.
in fact, maybe it was Oregon.
No, we had a conversation because
You know
I
what I'm
have.
saying?
Yeah.
They were acting up
Oh,
again.
Oregon.
They were acting up again last night. By the way, half a
Oh,
page in the
okay.
Times this morning. Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of lost now. I thought you were
Are
making.
you
a-
saying in
thought
Portland?
This
that
is
was-
called stream of consciousness.
I understand. You're fine. You're totally fine.
You are the master of stream of
Yeah, yeah.
consciousness.
But
Okay.
I thought you were making a dick joke. Oregon. Like she wanted to see your organ, but you're saying
Ooh.
something was. You're talking about. You keep bringing it back to politics a little bit, which is
I'm
fine.
trying.
Do you want to
But
talk
you keep
politics?
bringing it back to sex.
Well, I mean, I know. Listen, I know what the people we have. We have over
No.
40 listeners. We got to.
I do have some
Right.
points to make about that, but I like joshing around. By the way, you know who I was in the elevator with? I have to get this Hollywood
Go ahead,
thing out.
Hollywood
please,
Howard.
please.
Woo, woo.
Not that Susan Sarandon, who must be very, very pretty.
Nah, she's like 80. But
Well,
she's
you can age gracefully.
absolutely. Well,
No, when were you,
tell that to my mirror.
were you on the elevator like in the old
Oh
days?
no, I
or
wasn't.
were you-
That wasn't actually. That was just like a non sequitur. I wasn't actually ever on an elevator
with her?
I did know a guy that I think dated her.
The ping pong guy.
Ping pong.
She
guy.
she had an affair. There was a ping pong
No.
place downtown called
know-
Paddles.
Oh,
See, I'm out
maybe,
of mine.
maybe.
And she left Tim Robbins. The reason why I think about, and we'll get back to your elevator story in a second.
problem.
But the thing that made me think about it was I was going through old photos on my phone, and I'm trying to clean them up. And it's a Sisyphean
That's
task.
impossible, yeah.
Yeah, and so I interviewed Tim Robbins for this show during a benefit for Bernie Sanders, where Daniel.
Excuse me.
Well, all
thank
right, whatever.
I'm on the same show that Tim Robbins was once
exactly.
on.
And
Holy
Danny
mackerel.
DeVito walked out of.
I knew I would make it this year. I knew
I know.
21
Oh, yeah,
was
21's going to pop.
Big.
Danny DeVito was sitting in a chair just like you.
Like this? This
Yeah,
chair?
Well, it was a little more bowed. He's like, that man has a cumbersome
heavy.
carriage.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Was it like some sort of junket or something? What was
You know what?
What
It
was
was
Danny DeVito's thing?
It was I see. I think you're jealous.
oh,
Before Adam.
Oh.
Whoa. My old producer
I like him.
John, who I love dearly, John and I were asked to go to a fundraiser for Bernie Sanders.
Oh, it's the
scouting-
same fundraiser. Okay.
Excuse me.
All right, you don't
Okay.
like Bernie
Go ahead,
Sanders.
go ahead.
Come on.
Go ahead.
All right, but out in Bushwick, and it was Rosario Dawson was there. Tim Robbins was there with his goofy as shit son. who had giant pigtails. You ever see kids that you know they were born with money? Like big pigtails and like a wide like corduroy, like the Paper Chase. Remember that show? Like the Paper Chase tweet, like a corduroy sport coat.
Too much money.
And then Danny DeVito. Tim Robbins was really, really nice. And we talked for a while. And then Danny DeVito, they like brought him over. He did not want to be there. And I said, before we get started, I said, do you think, Mr. DeVito, if Bernie Sanders wins, he'll take a taxi to the White House? And he was out of there.
That was it?
That was it.
That was it.
That was it.
What happened?
He was pissed off. He was annoyed.
Wait a minute. What's the taxi thing?
He was on the TV show Taxi.
Oh, he was-
Ba-da-da-da. And
Oh,
plus,
I
here's
missed
the
that
joke.
one.
It was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
For me, it's funny on a lot of different things, but I have a theory, and Elevator, I know, but people that are, there are people that have been for so long that they're just done. And I think he's a guy who's been famous since 1978. And so I think that, like, he's had enough.
You know who's in that category? And then we'll get to the elevator.
Sure.
Julius Caesar.
Yeah. Well, the
He
pizza,
has been famous for so long.
it's that haircut. You should get a Caesar. That'd be hot on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Elevator, go ahead. Please. Good segue.
So we did the Sarandon thing. She wasn't. You were never. You
Yeah.
weren't.
I
on
will
the
say
elevator.
this. Weirdly, I just have to ask you this really quick because I was working on a thing with Mary Lou Henner recently,
Oh.
and she said that Danny DeVito has like the most sex appeal of like any man she's ever worked with or met. So did you feel that same magnetism?
Well, I mean,
as,
I sucked its cock behind a
Okay.
dumpster. I mean,
Wait, but even during the taxi joke, before
Mary-
the taxi joke even
Mary-
hit.
Mary Lou
He's
Henner.
funny though. He's funny, no?
I heard he's
think
like
funny.
very like ooh,
Very
like he's a
funny.
bit of like a
No?
Raconteur.
sleeper, like he kind of, because he's like a tiny little
Yeah.
man.
I was at a Hollywood party, and he was at the same party, but we weren't. It was such a huge house that I
were
knew
never
he
in
was
the-
there, and he was right. That was where I got a picture with. You're not going to know this reference, although you might. Remember Lost Boys?
Yeah.
Remember the guy that owned the video store? He was well. Hold
Okay,
on.
okay.
He was the head vampire. He was Kiefer Sutherland and all those guys. I have a picture with him somewhere on my fucking computer of that guy, and he also did the Infinity commercials, and he did a bunch of Woody Allen movies. And I took a picture with him, and I think he died like a week later.
Wow.
I think he was doing coke at this party. God knows I was, and it was at Ludacris's house. The house had an elevator. Anyway,
Would you look at that? Wow. This
speaking
is
of
this
elevators,
is a really fucking
It's
Hollywood
very
show.
nice, very
Go
nice
ahead.
segue. But
thank you.
I just feel outranked on this Hollywood
Oh.
thing. Maybe I don't have any claims here.
Just tell us.
Not
the thing.
compared
No,
to
I
this.
think you have probably
I
Can't
don't-
be worse than your Alec Baldwin story.
maybe some real ones.
And then I
You
want to
don't
do.
understand. I don't really know about that stuff very much.
Yeah, well, that's
But
the
when
joke of calling you Hollywood Howard. Is
Yeah,
that
I know, but no. But I'm just looking at the guy while we're talking about the election or something, and it just happened. I just thought in my it came in and said,
Sure.
Wait a minute, Baldwin. He's married to Kim Basinger. And this is in 1988.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Oh,
Bat-
daddy.
that's Batman.
know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
She's
was.
a hot lady. I'll give you that.
Oh, gorgeous. Anyway, okay. So guess who I was in the elevator with? It was also a political event, actually. That's going to
Political-
throw you off.
Okay,
You could do
can
this
I-
Because
like
it was
what-
a political
All right.
fundraiser.
Well, then let me.
Okay.
Like, if we're gonna really
it's
guess,
really weird.
Let's
Was
do it
it-
like what's my line style. You
Oh,
wanna
then
do-
yes, do that.
do
Do
that?
That's
I
fun.
don't know how
Okay.
to- I don't know how to-
20
follow my
questions.
lead.
You
Follow
get
my
20
lead.
20 questions.
Is it a man or a man?
Yeah, it has to be yes and no. Correct.
Yes. It's a
Yes.
man. Okay, it's a man.
Is it Mary Lou Henner?
Yes. No, that
Shit.
wasn't much of that.
I know. Sorry.
That didn't.
Right. No. Okay, my turn. Seriously, was it a Republican event?
No.
Okay, good. So Democrat. Can we talk? Can we?
We can
cross
powwow,
talk?
right? Yeah.
Are you allowed to on the old show?
I think so.
I don't think so.
All right, then we won't. Then fuck it.
No, I don't think
is this person an entertainer?
Yes.
Okay.
Is this person a singer?
Yes.
Ooh. Nice.
How many guesses do we get?
We
How
just
many
keep going.
did you get?
I think
you
you get
will.
10.
I
think
think I
you get
got
10.
it. I think I got it, but you go next.
Okay. Singer. Would you
No.
have I also done Broadway theater? Do you suppose?
Oh, now it's I have an I. Oh, that's good. Is my name? Oh, I get. Have I done Broadway theater? To the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay, what do you got? Who do you think it
Why
is?
did you ask him that? I'm
Because then you narrow it down. Then because if they've done
no, but
theater, then
Howard thought you asked him if he's done Broadway.
No, I did not. No. No, it was the change of the. From,
okay. Oh, just the way
has
I've
he
worded
done
it.
to have
Okay.
I
Sorry.
done?
sorry.
Not have he.
That's
wasn't
usually
have
what
you
we
done.
say
I
when
was
we
like,
do.
wow,
yeah.
we're going to be here all day.
Right.
Yes, we are.
Right.
This person has
Howard,
not done Broadway.
have
to
you
the best
used-
of my knowledge.
Howard, have you used a bandsaw?
Tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, I believe it was Carly Simon.
No.
Okay.
Ooh,
It's
sorry.
a male.
male.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Sorry.
Is she a male or a female?
She got a big clit.
They.
All right.
They-
I don't know
was
anymore.
All right,
this
It's a guy. so
was
go
this
ahead.
guy? Did he front a band, like a large band?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Good.
What
He's
is-
on this.
Was this guy from England?
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, it
Wait.
narrows it down.
Oh wait, you know what? I realized.
Oh,
I realized
know
you
who it
told
is.
us this story.
Oh,
already.
I already told it. Come
Yeah.
on.
Paul
I got-
McCartney.
Mick
No.
Jagger.
Mick
Yes,
Jagger.
Jagger.
God damn
Jagger.
it. You're right.
I
It was
could have
Jagger.
hustled him, but I didn't want to be dishonest.
Did I tell this on the other thing? See, I've got
you
no,
may have just told-
I've got no Hollywood stories.
I think no. I think you've got. I think you earned the
No,
title.
here's what I think is amazing. I'll try to, narrow this so we can talk about other things.
Yeah.
It was a fundraiser for Jerry Brown in
Sure.
1980.
Right. Who used to fuck Deborah Winger?
Well, if you want to put it that way, I was on the political side, not on the personal
Used to make
side.
sex on her
I don't know
face.
anything about him.
Okay.
I think he's a tragic political figure, and I'll tell you why. Because at that time, when he was, relatively new governor of California and doing a good job, but came out for president, it was way too early for him. Remember Governor Moonbeam? Nobody
Yeah,
drinks
yeah,
it.
too much.
Now at the other end, where we could really use him, in my opinion,
He's got 2 feet in the grave.
he's too old.
Yeah.
That's tragic. But it was a fundraiser for him at a New York
He had a
apartment.
good run, though. Fuck him. Come on. Really?
No, in California, fantastic
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
Fantastic run. So we're going to meet at this, it was the Brown campaign. This wasn't a gigantic national campaign.
I like a
It
brown
was a small campaign. It was a
Right,
Brown campaign.
right.
We're going to meet in an
Scat
apartment.
campaign.
Yep,
And
beautiful.
it's a fundraiser.
Right.
I don't know where I was coming from anyway. I'm walking. I'm at the corner across the street from the apartment building. I see out of the corner of my eye, just casually, 2 men. One, very nice, typical, very nice, good-looking guy, well-dressed. And there happens to be another guy standing next to him. Yeah, looked like, he's on his last leg. I
Right.
mean, it looked like it's just a street. We used to say bum.
Sure.
Now it's homeless,
You can say
Just
bum.
notice out of the corner of my eye.
Can't say
The
faggot.
thing is, we crossed the. No, you can't say faggot.
No.
You are not
Sure
allowed
they
to
can.
say that. The FCC forbids you to say the word faggot.
Is that
on
right?
F
On
word.
radio, yeah.
Oh wow.
Or whatever this is. We walk across the street. I walk across the street, go through the lobby. The elevator door closes, and it's the same 2 guys. Except now I look and I say to myself, that, even I know this, that is Mick Jagger. And he looks like he's like half a step away from the grave. I mean, you never saw, he was so beat up. He was like,
Did he get on and go, oh, could you push 9? I can't reach it. Tattoo you and things like that. Chip Stones.
okay, then we go into the same door, and later somebody says to me, you want to meet Mick? I said, sure. He's like,
Yeah.
I said, hi, Mick. But, what, 40 years later, they're still
Yeah.
concertizing worldwide? The guy's like 80 years old. It's un-freaking believable.
I will
I
tell-
can't get that over that.
I have an informed.
Not only that, not that he's 80 years old, but this guy's jumping around like he did for decades. It's incredible. How do you do that?
I have heard, for example, when
That just
when Freddie Mercury used to come to New York, he would say New York is where he comes to party. And I have known in the course of my time in New York, musicians, not Mick Jagger or Freddie Mercury, but musicians, and they will, when they come through New York, they come here and they get fucked up. This is a bender city for musicians because typically when you're here on some sort of press jag. You're here. You usually have a home here. If you're successful, like New York that's a place where you come and like you blow it out. So I'm not surprised to hear you say that because I would imagine that like he was probably
okay. But Brian, that's 40 years ago,
But
and
he
they're
got cleaned up.
still, yeah, but they're still doing
Yeah, I wouldn't, but back then I think that was probably in his heyday of
Well,
like,
that was like, hey, dude.
yeah, he was
But
hitting
they're
it hard.
still
and
doing it, though.
now he's like drinking green juice and probably doing yoga and
Yeah.
taking care of himself.
Yeah, he
right?
takes care. Yeah, even Keith Richards.
I don't know. I haven't seen him in all those years. I did see him once on stage, though. The one rock and roll concert I ever went to.
rock and roll concert. What are you, Ed
I like
Sullivan?
it. I like
Well,
it.
I'm,
I like it.
I'm a senior citizen.
Yeah.
Now. I don't.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
No,
Rock?
show,
Rock.
but whatever. It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it wasn't a concert. It wasn't the Boston Symphony. This is the Stones
Wow.
at the Garden in '72, and it
Wow.
was a fantastic experience.
I bet.
And I'm not, but it was fabulous. The energy in that room was so fantastic.
I wonder if
I'll
maybe
never forget that.
if he was like with whoever he was with, and they said, "Hey, we're going to go to a political fundraiser," and then he just took all of his heroin, like to get through it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
because sometimes when people do things that they perceive are going to be boring,
How
they're
funny-
like, "I'm going to get blasted." You
How
know?
great would it be
Are
though?
you saying that
maybe.
our fundraiser for Governor Brown was boring?
I'm saying maybe to Mick Jagger it could be perceived
He
as
didn't
not
know what-
like a great time.
He had no idea what
Oh,
was
he
going
didn't even know he
on.
was going.
He didn't
Oh, okay.
even know anything.
Right.
He
You know,
couldn't have. I mean, it was the guy was like, "Oh my God, get this guy to an emergency room. This man
Right.
is going to die."
You know, it'd be great though. The whole way there, he's like,
that was
"Come
so
on, guys, pull over. I haven't had a shower in like 4 days. I've got it. I should wear a jacket for governor. This guy."
right.
They're like, "No, Mick, we have no fucking time, bro."
He couldn't pronounce a syllable, no less sentences.
Wow, so he was really fucked
He
up.
was really fucked
I feel
up.
like that's how you want to see Mick Jagger, though. I feel like that's what I'd want to see. Yeah.
I don't want
it
to
was
see him
so
having
amazing.
like like
Right.
a kale
No.
Caesar salad.
Oh.
Dressing on the side for this
Yeah.
salad. Yeah. Now I mean,
know
Keith,
what I mean?
right? Keith, do you have the oxygen container?
Keith.
Right, Keith.
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah.
What happened to that F and PH thing?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
they're what do you call it?
Well, they're like
They're
trashy.
They're trash from
Right.
From Liverpool or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know
like
where.
that.
Yeah, they're from somewhere.
No, they're
Here's
from
a-
London.
Here's a question for you.
No
I-
offense, my English friends. I didn't mean that.
I have a real issue
Yeah.
with the
Are we going
English
to talk politics now?
No,
okay.
almost. I want to do this. I want to tell you about a TV show, and then you're going to have the floor.
No, it's all right. I'm having a good time. This
I'm
is fun.
glad. I'm glad, and thank you for coming, by the way. But
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm supposed to say that, right?
Yeah.
No, but I mean it.
So cause and effect.
We're buddies.
We are absolutely.
Yeah,
But
so-
what I
no,
want
go
to say
ahead.
is we have a. I have a real problem with the English monarchy. I don't.
Well,
like,
you're Irish. You would
yeah, but
have
I
a
also
problem with that.
right, and I don't like monarchies in general. I
Okay,
think,
good.
But
it's healthy.
yeah. So anyway, but my point is like these English musicians, pop stars, whatever you want to call them, that get knighted by the Queen.
Oh, right.
I think that's kind of. I wouldn't take it. I would.
Is Mick actually a knight?
Yeah, he's a sir.
He accepted it.
Yeah, of course.
He's English. He didn't have a problem.
Yeah, Paul
You're
McCartney
Irish.
did the same thing.
Well, they're English.
yeah, Paul McCartney's fucking one generation English. But anyway, but I
They're
hate
English.
that. I know, but
They're
it's
not Irish.
It's embarrassing to me
I got you.
that some woman comes. And by the way,
Some woman.
I have been I've been reading
Some woman.
I know.
That is some woman.
And also the fact that the English family, they're all fucking German. So they're all from their Hanover line, and they changed it. So they're not.
You know who made the Hanover line run on time, though? Let's be honest.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, let me take them
Because
up.
it was always late in the Weimar Republic. But when he came in,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Hanover
That's
line
right.
was running on time.
Right.
All
Mach
right.
schnell!
Mach schnell, exactly.
So I wanted to. This is a funny thing to me. So there's a TV show that I used to love to watch, and I just kind of rediscovered it. It's called Inside the World's Toughest Prisons.
Oh yeah,
Have you
yeah.
seen that?
Oh, man.
I
tough.
saw just a couple of minutes of
Oh,
the very.
my
I haven't. I'm about to crack into it though. It looks amazing.
Well, the reason why I don't watch it that much is because it's a lot of subtitles, and I can't really read the subtitles. But I happened to watch. I watched 2 last night, and the one was in prison in South Africa, which was you don't want to be in prison in South Africa. But then they went to some other country in southern Africa. It's some like kingdom.
Oh, boy.
And and it's
Yeah,
funny
it's
because
horrible.
the host of this show is this guy that was in jail in England for 12 years and for a crime he
Oh.
didn't commit.
Really?
Yes. And
Yikes.
he goes around to all these prisons, and it's funny because he'll go to
for him,
like
though.
he'll go to Finland, and they'll be like, in this corner we have a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, right.
And over there is all the pornography for the inmates to masturbate each
The
other.
daily health
Yes.
checkups.
On Tuesday is
Yes.
Taco Tuesday, of course. And
Right.
and they're making like Christmas ornaments.
Oh, it's wonderful.
and they go to
I love Scandinavia.
Oh, it's great. And then they go to this prison, and there was one because they always do what we in the business call bumpers, you know. And and he talks to the camera, and he goes, "This was the one time that I had to get pulled out." Everything else has been no problem. We take extreme precautions with these guys. He goes, "This was the one." And so what happened was they go to this prison, and it's literally. I mean, I'm going to jump around because it's not really that great of a story
We're
necessarily.
trying to follow you.
But they have all these fucking giant pots, and they were stirring the dinner with like branches, like big branches.
No.
It literally looked like something from the prehistoric Paleolithic, whatever the fuck. And
Like a big fucking
it was
bone.
like a big bone. It was like literally
Tyrannosaurus
like
bone.
a guy had like a plate in his lip. And he pushes his-
Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah. it was-
Yummy.
Yeah.
Must have been Sunday.
And then he comes in, and then
The record player's a pterodactyl.
Flintstones.
It's a
Yabba
living-
dabba doo. And he's
I love
talking to the
that.
guard, and the guard is like wearing like a t-shirt and like a ripped baseball hat. And he's like, the guard is, but thing is interesting. They still have that English education.
Yeah.
So they
Sure,
have
sure.
really good vocabularies.
Yes.
And the guard, you get to see the host's face. He goes, listen, just so you know, about 2/3 of our inmates are HIV positive. And when you are in here, it is not uncommon for them to grab you and make
God.
you their wife immediately. And the guy's like,
We're out of
you
here.
can see the guy's like going to the producer, like, what the? And he literally goes, fuck. And they put him in this, it's like a cell for like 4 people. There's 14 dudes
Yeah,
in there.
I know.
And they all come in a circle and they go, tonight you're going to be our wife. And we're going to.
Oh,
And the guy just goes, ah. And they pull him out, they bring him back in. But I really recommend. But the guy was walking around. It looked like a bomb hit this prison. And it just made me realize, like, when you wish you were in prison in South Africa, then you. Anyway, so that was. For those of you out there
That
who
was
are
a
looking
nice story.
for something, what? Yeah, but that's really funny, that Flintstone thing. That was funny.
That's very funny.
So politics. Howard, last time you were on here,
But
obviously.
can I just have one comment on that story?
Yeah, please.
What is scaring me now a little bit, I think deep down, I'm not admitting it, but I'm admitting it now, is that if there is, we don't know what ultimate reality is. We don't know if there's other life before, after. We don't really know.
Right. What do you
So
think?
if there's
Go ahead.
karma and the force or the God or whatever can put you anywhere in any circumstance at any time, in present, future, whatever, we'd have no. My God, your soul could be in that kind of a situation. We don't know.
Let me allay your
You
concerns.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would have to literally
Your soul would have to
kill
commit
babies,
Well,
like
no,
rape
but
and kill
but
babies.
you don't. Yeah, I know. But who knows what
the barometer is for that
Yeah,
type.
what soul you might have, what you had, or what you might have in the future.
All right. To your point, the guy's sitting there talking to one of the inmates, and he goes, so what are you in here for? And he goes, I killed all 4 of my children with
Yes.
my wife because a witch doctor told
Yes.
me.
Yeah,
this."
yeah. Very
Yeah, no,
nice.
you do have a point because those are kind of cards that are dealt. Like we all think
Cards
that we
that
are.
are dealt,
we
yeah.
do all think that we're very in control and existential.
I don't
and-
think we
but,
are.
Yeah, that's
No,
true.
it's all
So
chaos.
what,
It's
you
all
look-
chaos.
I don't know if
Chaos,
it's,
I tell
I
you.
don't know if it's chaos or order, but if you look at your chart, I mean, I'm interested in astrologists. I think I said before.
You're gonna lose them.
Like, you look at your chart and you say, oh, okay, it's going to be kind of a regular, normal life, a little this, a little that. But what do you might look at a chart and say, oh, this guy's going to be a serial killer, and you can tell already before, or something horrible.
Yeah, you put me in front of a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, I'll show you a serial
baby.
So,
Bing.
so
Anyway, that's the existential.
I understand.
Thing.
Now,
All
let
right.
me ask you a question. What do you think happens when you die? What do you think happens?
What happens when one dies?
Yes. We
Well,
we
I'm
have
glad
no way
you
of
asked that
knowing.
right after I gave that little speech, because I don't know.
Right.
Right.
Do you?
No.
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 But what do you
Socrates, your old buddy from before, right?
never saw his face?
Well, he may have had his proclivities,
Uh-huh. Right.
and we don't condone in our modern society sexual relations with those who are not old enough to consent,
It's like
whatever
living
that
in-
age is.
No, it's like living in some
But
draconian.
besides that,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
it's the dialectic method. We went through that Socratic method, but also he
Does
said,
this hurt?
yes or no?
Socratic pedophilia.
Yes or no? But he's also important because he came up with something else that's like the bottom line. Socrates, the conclusion of his philosophy, right?
Okay.
He said, I went all over and I talked to everybody about wisdom and truth and so on. Everybody. And I came back and I thought about it and I thought, you know what? I'm the wisest man because I know that I do not know.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
think you can beat
yeah.
that. I really don't.
Right.
So therefore, the answer to the question is, I don't know what happens. You know? Who knows?
But is that an admission of a declaration of not knowing, or is that hubris? Are you telling me you're the smartest person in the room?
I'm not saying this about myself. I'm just saying of the little tiny bit that I know
Right.
about philosophy and so on like that. That seems to me like the ultimate comment. And to keep that in mind is not hubristic, but actually very, very what's the opposite of hubris? Very, very humble,
Yep. I'm humble.
because you don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
well, understanding your limitations and going like, how could you know? I mean, some people do claim. I mean, I don't know.
But
People do claim.
well,
but,
if I'm no expert in this, but I'm not a doctor of religion, but in Christian faith, right?
Yeah.
The
Go
human
easy.
form was...
Go easy, Jew boy.
Well, I'm just... I'm a Jew boy, and I'm not a professional, but...
He's an amateur Jew boy.
there,
Yeah.
Hey, boy, look at what we got here, an amateur Jew boy.
what are we going to do with him?
Yeah.
What we gonna do with him, boys?
You got a
Spittoon.
little starter yarmulke on your head, boy.
Yeah.
Tell you Yahweh.
So-
Surrounding him.
Okay, but Jesus, who was one of my... This is where I get... One of my... Christ, one of my boys...
Yes. Right.
came back and so on. So Christians believe that there is eternal life. There is reincarnation of some kind. There is... Right or not?
No.
Oh.
No, that's not it.
See,
No.
I'm a Jew, so I don't know.
I'll tell you very, very simply.
Give me the lowdown on this.
The God this is, by the way, this is the doctrine of Catholicism. This is not me saying this, but
Okay.
God, to show how much he loved the world, he sent down his only son,
Yeah.
and then when he was reborn, it is basically only Jesus is the only person that's been reborn. When you die in Catholicism, and to a much larger extent Christianity, you're not reborn. You go to either, and this is Catholicism, heaven, hell, or the waiting room of purgatory.
Okay.
Which is where you're given a number, and it means, and depending upon how many mortal sins, murder, or how many venial sins, say avarice, you are judged by fucking St. Peter. This is what it's all supposed to be. And then you either go to heaven or you go to hell.
So it's like Zabar's fish counter at noon
Yes.
on Saturday.
Right.
You get a number, you
Whoa.
get a ticket, and then you wait.
Sure.
Or you go directly to one or the other. Purgatory's it's like your soul doesn't know which way to go. But not everyone waits in purgatory.
You know where I thought purgatory was for many, many years?
Duluth.
The 168. Yes. And no, Duluth is actually all right.
Wait,
Have you been there?
Duluth, Minnesota?
Duluth, Minnesota. Have you been there?
No, he has.
I didn't even realize that was a thing other people knew.
I didn't-
knew
I had,
about.
I had
I
a
didn't-
campaign trip to Duluth once.
I didn't know
Okay.
Duluth was
No.
in Minnesota.
He thought it
Do
was in
people really say
Canada.
Duluth? I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know where it was. I
that's
knew it
Do
was
you
funny.
remember the what were they called? The Fire Sign Theater?
Why do I know that? What is
Because
fire
there's
sign?
the Fire Sign Theater is like, there's a line that's like,
But
are we in Duluth? Duluth. This is
Oh.
Tierra del Fuego. Remember
the
those
tip
guys?
of the tip of the fire.
Oh, they
Oh,
were
yeah, okay.
fantastic.
You
You don't
talk-
know. You should know those.
Yeah,
guys.
they're like sketch comedy,
but
early
they were
sketch
brilliant.
comedy,
Oh,
right?
really? Oh, they were funny.
Del Close and those guys.
They were
Yeah, I know what you
funny.
mean. Yeah,
Funny,
right,
funny.
right, right.
But I was in Duluth. But the other place, the place that I thought was purgatory, might still be, is the 168th Street station on the number 1 train. When it stops there, there's a certain. It's not. It's like the Twilight Zone. It's not even. It's like. Oh.
168th on the what?
On the number 1 line going up
Oh, I
toward
don't think I've
Van
ever taken
Cortlandt
that
Park.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That to me is purgatory.
Oh wait, I used to
what
live
purgatory
once.
must be like.
I lived one stop.
You
from
never
there.
went north of
I don't think I ever went north.
No
I think I
wonder.
only went south.
You don't want to go through 168th
boy.
Street station.
When I first moved to New York, that's how I got to know New York. I didn't have any friends here, like now,
yeah.
still.
Right.
But and I would just take the train and I would ride it to the
Yeah.
very end
Good. Yeah,
and just
it's
get
brilliant.
off.
It's brilliant.
I'd be like, "Well, look at me! I'm in Douglaston, Queens."
I would do that with the bus, so I could
Brilliant.
see everything in between.
I
too.
wasn't that smart.
Okay.
The bus, yeah. The subway, of course, is great because
We'll go, oh, look at that! Look, it's another
people-wise, right? People-wise.
Christie's.
Yeah.
But the bus is better because obviously to see the city,
Right.
but the train is better for people.
By the way, yesterday I hadn't left the house on Sunday because did I mention that my cock and balls were blue?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
good.
Black
I did.
and blue.
Black and blue. Yes. And right. And yesterday I took the train down to Penn Station and I saw the new the Patrick D. Moynihan station, which is for those of you who don't live in New York, Penn Station is directly across the street from the post office, which is this beautiful Beaux-Arts edifice. I'm probably not even using that term.
No, you're
correctly.
right. That's correct.
Okay. And there were tracks underneath it, and they've moved the post office out of it, and now it's a train station. It's fucking beautiful.
It's not Penn Station, which was the great tragedy, of
Yes,
course,
right,
and
that-
so on.
that's-
But at least it's
Yeah.
You know, it's an evocation of the old Penn Station.
Yeah, it's
and
lovely.
They did a nice space, and thank God we have because that,
Yeah, it was
the
a
destruction of the
tragedy.
station and the building of Madison Square Garden. I mean, I know I saw the Stones there and they were great, but that building in it's
hideous.
disgusting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
hideous.
yeah. Well, but it was almost like, speaking of only begotten son, that building, Penn Station had to die so that they started the preservation of all of New York. That building was the inciting
You got the
incident.
fundamental point.
Yeah. So
The good thing that came out was
they
the
realized.
historic protection movement and the landmarks preservation law in New York.
Right. And I'll one more thing and then politics for you. But I wanted to, it was funny. I left. So now, and again, if you don't live in New York, you're probably like, who gives a shit? But now you can
Are
actually.
there people listening to this who are not in New York?
Yeah, there's Tom.
I would say probably most of them.
Yeah, we have a lot of English
Can you
people.
see how many there are?
Yeah, but
Like
they're,
You mean like 100 people outside of New York or something?
oh no, there's only
Thousands?
No, it goes.
hundreds of thousands. No, I'm
Hun-
just
yeah.
kidding.
No,
there's
Millions?
we have tiers.
Is it like Trump's Twitter feed?
not even
Not
10,
yet?
Not even 10 right
Yeah,
now. But
yeah.
Anyway,
But
there are
they're
people
all
out there.
listening
All right.
with-
and they may not have been here, and they can't come now because of the
But it goes. You can now walk from not Broadway, 7th Avenue all the way to 9th Avenue. So yesterday, as I was leaving, I was amazed because I'm in Penn Station at fucking 6:15. There's nobody in there. But I was in front of in Penn Station. There is a Shake Shack, delicious, next to a Starbucks, and
Delicious.
I was standing there, and there was this guy who was running around screaming that I guess they fucked up his order at Starbucks, and he was an African American transgendered person.
Okay.
And at one point, and
How
of
do
course,
you know that?
well, because at one point she screamed, "I'm going to show all you motherfuckers my big tits and big dick." And I was
That
like,
would be one way.
pretty good
Yeah,
indication,
That,
I would
yeah,
say.
no,
And
that's
it was-
good.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because you really have to go out of your way to get arrested in New York unless you are inciting violence. Then they make it pretty quick. But this guy was going, or girl was going around going, "Oh no, you motherfuckers!" And just screaming. And there's a cop next to me, and he looked at me like, "I don't even want to. I can't."
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
gotta be exhausting.
I can't. But and the person just and the trans person just stormed off. And but I was like, look at that old.
What
New
would they
York.
put in half and half instead of whole milk or what?
I didn't get in.
What
I
was
don't know if
the
it,
problem?
I didn't know if it was like a
What was the
macchiato.
issue?
Yeah,
you
I
call
wonder.
this you call this almond milk? Taking out my big dick and big tits and it was like going around and she was like voguing and walking around. I was like, oh, I
good.
love
she,
this.
She sashayed
I
away.
love this town.
There are a
You
lot
know,
of
really
stars.
sashayed away and then kept coming back.
Ooh,
Yeah, for more.
Then
It
back.
was
then
She had an
taunting.
audience.
Taunting
Yeah.
everybody. Oh yeah, I was,
Huh.
and I'm so blind. I was trying to figure out. I was like, I can go on TikTok. I was trying to get my phone to go. And I couldn't go. Anyway, so we had allegedly a new president sworn in a couple days ago.
I just have to say one more thing before
Sure,
we get to
please.
policies.
Now it's
And
on
I
you.
forgot
yeah.
Oh yeah, I want to make a pledge live on the
Oh, wow.
podcast. Yeah.
I don't know that we've ever had anybody make a pledge before.
No, this is
Jerry Lewis?
I usually don't do this. I'm pretty discreet. I don't say in public, I will this and I will that. But
Okay.
tonight,
Uh-oh.
the Mega Millions drawing, you know this, is for $970 million.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Right.
If I win, and I
Uh-huh.
am going to play,
Okay.
I will, when after the appropriate bureaucracy happens,
Sure.
either I will personally or Andy and I will 50-50 write a check
Okay.
to the effort to save the Gould Memorial Library, my pet historic preservation
Right.
project in the old NYU campus in the Bronx, a gorgeous National Historic Landmark,
Right.
Stanford White,
It's cheap.
1900.
It's cheap to save that thing.
Yeah.
Your money.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
We will, things always take longer and cost more.
But you pay extra so it's done in your lifetime.
I'll
Work weekends.
write the check for about $100 million and
Okay.
say to Sam White, good friend of mine who's the great architect's great-grandson, Sam, here you go.
Right.
Don't want you to worry about this. Let's just get the job done. And no renaming. It's the Gould Library, and that's what it's going to stay. Doesn't have to be named from me or anybody. No, just here it is. You could say generous donation by. That's fine.
Hollywood House.
You wouldn't
By
call
Hollywood
it
Hal.
You wouldn't
But-
call it hairy nuts or something silly. Like,
No.
No. Okay.
So I'm making that pledge. Now,
Okay.
if I win,
Okay.
the odds are
Yeah, what are the odds?
320 something million to 1 that you win the big prize. But it could happen.
That's not bad odds, really, if you think about it. Here's the funny thing,
Okay.
though.
That's
Imagine
all.
if
I
you
did
won
want
that.
to say that.
Imagine you won the 900 million, and they said we're going to pay you annually, but they stretch it out over 1,000 years.
Right.
You're still getting 30 grand a year, but you have to live to be 950 years old. Yeah.
Well, that's why we set up a foundation.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that
That's what we're
future
gonna do.
generations.
Yeah.
Before,
I did want to say that.
Okay.
If
and
you,
I did.
Okay. After that, then what do you spend money on? What's your next thing?
I don't know. That's the only thing that, just, I think, organized foundation
Okay.
and,
Set it all up.
set
But I'm
it up
talking
and,
about
and debate it and give money to what you think, obviously, what's your own personal opinion of a good cause.
Yeah. And I never met
You're not
her.
going to solve the whole world's problem. Nobody
Right.
does. But give some that you feel is worthwhile or for the good or whatever. It's
Right.
completely subjective, but all right.
And I've never met Andy before. I'm sure she's very nice, but I'm
Yes.
imagining you're going to trade up, right? Some 19-year-old Filipino boy.
Boy,
This guy has amazing intuitive powers.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
realizes that.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
think he's
yeah.
just a clown, but he's
Imagine-
very, very intuitive.
Imagine you're like at the opening of your library. On your arm is some like 19-year-old like just he's on his phone. Like you're like, this is
That's very
yeah,
funny.
This is my this is my new boyfriend Lip. He's like, hello, we leaving yet? You know, just some bitchy queen. You know.
Yes.
I want to get out of here and go have some soup. I promised you bubble tea. Just stay for a little bit.
You know what?
These are my friends. You're
Lip-
embarrassing
that's
me.
Very funny, but everybody will be very polite.
They have to be. You're
That-
like, it's your thing.
Yeah,
right.
we gave the money.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
Right. You're just making out with them in front of everybody.
That'd be
You
great.
just have to like.
Great.
That
All
is
right.
so funny. That's the most bizarre interpretation of the after effect
Uh-huh.
of this
Yeah.
fantasy.
Yet dead on. somehow.
on.
Dead on.
Okay.
And yet dead on. Yet
So-
dead on. Okay.
Two matters at hand.
Now that we've gotten the preliminaries,
Yeah, we're out of time, folks. No, we have a few. Should
do we have any time?
should we
We
do
should, yeah, we're
hellos?
almost at an hour.
do you guys
so
have
maybe
to
we
Well,
go-
no,
Oh
no,
my
we'll
gosh.
do that. We have some work to do after this, but I tell you what we'll do. Why don't we switch over? Let's say hello, and we'll do
Say hello to
political
the folks in the-
Patreon. Okay,
Political Patreon. We've never
Okay.
done that before.
What's that?
it's just another tier of the show.
Oh,
The
okay.
show gets broken up into like segments, so
Okay.
everyone's going to hear this, and then
And
other
then-
people are going to hear what we're going to talk about next.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and then who do we say hello to? Anybody that we should worry about? Jessica, blah 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 blah.
You
Hi.
know, Jessica's strangely absent. And I'm getting a little worried. I think this is maybe 2 weeks in a row.
No, she pops up. I think on social media. I don't
Well,
know.
no, I just mean from the
I know,
live show.
I don't know. She's-
Shout out to Ted. Ted says,
Hi,
"Hey
Ted.
gals."
Hey girl, what's up, Teddy
Love
boy?
it.
In
Love
England,
that
Ted's in
kinda-
England.
Yeah,
Right.
Ted said he's calling from England.
Good.
Somebody said Howard, the most interesting guest ever on the show. Fuck James.
Oh,
Why
no.
can't you like Howard and
That's
also
the thing.
like,
I think
Exactly.
you're either a Howard guy or you're a James
Oh, no.
guy
Yeah,
or a
it's
gal.
true.
Yeah.
By
yeah.
the way, James is MIA.
Yes,
I
he
have,
is.
we don't know. what
I've
James is.
reached out to him.
He is, as far as I know.
Yeah, I've emailed
We got to go
him.
on rentman.com and inbox him, maybe.
We may have to go to the morgue.
You should. Oh, I hope you're wrong.
Was
but-
that depressing? So I do too.
I
but
mean, I'm sure you do, of course, but it's not out of the realm of possibility.
we don't know where he is.
No.
He's disappeared.
But I
There
do
he
think with
is.
James, he's either 2 inches from your face,
Yeah,
or
or
he's in a
a
dark
minute-
corner somewhere
Well,
sobbing.
you know, we're guessing at this manic depressive cycle, so he may have gone into depressive, in which case, yeah, he disappears.
I wonder if you could look
That's just a guess.
at someone's astrological chart or the moon chart and see when you were going to be
Like that.
like that.
I'm
huh?
telling you, I'm just a citizen who's consulted from time to time. I think there's such a tremendous amount of knowledge and insight that we have from esoteric systems like that we're not tapping into, and we should.
All right. Anybody
It's
else?
such a waste of energy. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Shout out to James, not that James, but
Right.
A
Hi, James.
James.
A James.
Brian.
Hi, Brian.
We already said Ted. And then Yao says,
Ow.
great, you have a guess. Have you watched Crip Camp?
As a matter of fact, I
Is-
have. Yeah, Crip Camp is up for an Oscar.
I know what I'm
It's-
watching tonight, I
Yeah,
think.
it's on Netflix.
Is
What
it
is
like
it?
the Crips, like the street gang?
No, it's like crippled.
Oh, Crip.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that would
It's-
be Crypt, is right, is the gang.
What?
I don't know.
What are you talking about?
It says.
Are you having a stroke?
Well, it's spelled
Crips,
It's spelled
Crips.
CRIP, but I don't know how the gang. Isn't that Crypt?
Yeah,
No,
that is
the
Crip.
gang I think is CRIPS, the Crips. I
Yes.
think
Well, okay. Well, this is just
one
Crip
can
Camp.
be a Crip in the Crips.
Okay.
they have a special. Yeah,
Yeah, blue. They wear blue.
under the ADA,
Oh, so it-
they
so-
have to. Yeah.
So it is spelled the same as Crypt. He
Yes.
said CRIP.
But what Yao is referring to
Right.
is on Netflix, and I have seen it. It's wonderful. It's a documentary about this camp in the 70s that was set up for people that
Crippled
are
folks.
crippled.
In the
And-
70s?
In the 70s, yes. So
It's a
and
documentary?
Yes, it is up for an Oscar, and it's probably going to
Good.
win. And
Well, this is up your alley
It
with,
is up
with,
my
with,
alley.
with
Yep.
disabled.
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
So
on, which is
yes, I
great.
have, and I recommend all of you see Crip Camp. It's a lot. It's funny. It's good. It's interesting. So
By the way, that's you just made me think. I would also give you. You definitely be on the donee list if I win the. Yeah.
oh, thanks.
For the for
Good.
the work on disabled
Sure.
things. Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
I
We'll
just-
talk about the amount,
Okay,
but you're
fair
definitely
enough,
on
right.
there.
We'll
yeah.
work out the black. We'll
That's detail.
cross our
My
T's,
people
dot our
will
I's
cross- yeah,
after the
Yeah,
show.
your boyfriend's always
After
like
he wins.
having his hair bleached,
Right.
different colors, bangs. You said you're going to buy me another phone. This is an iPhone 12. I want iPhone 13.
That is so funny.
Isn't that great? All right, everybody, listen. We're going to wrap up this show right now, but you stay put for the Patreon.
I'm staying put.
Lipsort.com. Patreon is, of course, / Brian McCarthy. And Howard, thank you for doing this show.
You're welcome. My
you don't,
pleasure.
You
It's
don't do
fun.
any social media, right? So
No, that's not true.
what do you? Well, tell us.
No, no.
You're on Facebook, right? Didn't
I'm
we-
on Facebook. I
you
haven't
mind
been on
if-
in a while, but
No.
I am on.
Okay, well, do you want to?
What?
Do you want people to find you on Facebook or not?
Oh,
You don't have
yeah.
to.
Well, how do you? Well,
You say your name.
HOWARD.
Yeah, but you can't just type in Howard.
Go ahead and try to find.
Are
it,
there
though,
other
that way.
Howards?
Yeah, try that.
Okay,
Howard
middle name CHARLES.
Charles.
Okay. Howard
Last
Charles.
name YOUROW. Euro.
Yep. So
Yeah, I'm
okay.
the only
There you
one of
go.
those. I
Look
think.
'em up.
Yeah.
Okay, well they can't miss
Yeah, I'm
you.
on Facebook.
Okay,
Right.
good. All right, we'll be back in a minute with Howard. All right, everybody.